This is CBS News Chicago.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dana Kozlov.
And I'm Jackie Kostek in for Audrina. Thanks so much for being with us on this Tuesday morning. Now at 9, Chicago Public Schools and the Teachers Union have a tentative deal. We'll break down what's in it and why the union is calling it historic.
And breaking overnight, the Trump administration following through on its promise to lay off thousands at the U.S. Health Department. The notices announced today in which jobs are impacted.
And it is Election Day in several Chicago suburbs. We're keeping an eye on the key races to watch.
There's lots of news to get to, but it's also very busy in the Weather Center. So let's start with meteorologist Laura Bannon. Laura?
Yeah, we've got sunny skies right now. Things will turn busy late tonight into tomorrow. Tonight is when we've got a marginal risk for severe weather for those thunderstorms in the overnight hours. Hail is going to be the main threat, but then that severe weather threat will increase throughout the day, going to a level 3 risk on a scale of 1 to 5. Those daytime thunderstorms, large hail, damaging wind, and tornadoes will all be possible. Today, we're on the cooler swing of things. 46 degrees, a big jump tomorrow with a high near 70 degrees. We'll time out all these thunderstorms in the forecast coming up in my next report.
Okay, we'll see you in a bit, Laura. Thanks. Let's get to your nonstop news now. And there is finally a deal between the Chicago Teachers Union and Chicago Public Schools. This comes after nearly a year of really tense contract negotiations.
It is not signed and sealed just yet, though. Asal Razai is at Chicago Teachers Union headquarters this morning with what comes next. Asal.
This tentative agreement is something the Chicago Teachers Union is calling historic. That vote just coming down yesterday, and we know there's still several hurdles they have to get past before the deal is final. It's the first time in more than 15 years that the CTU has reached an agreement without a strike vote or strike. With this deal, teachers will get a 4% raise in the first year and then up to 5% in the next 3 years. Chicago Public Schools says this will be the largest raise for teachers in 13 years. Other parts of the deal include smaller class sizes, support for veteran educators, more time for teachers to prep, and 90 new librarian positions over the next 3 years. We know the biggest holdup with this deal has been funding, something CPS has insisted just doesn't exist for this contract. Right now, it's still unclear how this contract will be funded. The next vote on this will come down from the union's House of Delegates at a special meeting tomorrow. Then the vote will go to the full union's membership. CTU planning on having that press conference here in just the next few minutes. Reporting on the Near West Side, I'm Asal Razai, CBS News Chicago.
Thanks to Asal. Well, a devastated family is speaking out after 3 toddlers were killed in a house fire in Carpentersville.
Their mom now has a message for other parents.
Don't leave without saying goodbye because you won't know it's going to be your last time.
Hundreds of people came together praying and mourning the loss of 2-year-old twins Jaden and Caden and their 1-year-old brother Xander. The family says the boys were trapped in the basement when that fire started. Their grandmother ran back in to try to save them but could not. Multiple agencies are now investigating.
I always wanted to bring people together. I wanted to make everybody happy. I wanted to fix the world, and so far it seems like that's what they did. They made this community stronger and bring everybody together.
Family tells us Xander was always happy and the twins seem to share a language of their own. A GoFundMe for that family has raised more than $24,000.
Convicted former Illinois House Speaker Mike Madigan wants a new trial. Attorneys for Madigan claim in a motion the trial judge made a series of errors, and that includes allowing prosecutors to present as evidence a now infamous wiretap recording in which Madigan said some ComEd contractors, quote, made out like bandits. Madigan's motion's unlikely to be granted, but they could set up an appeal down the line. The former speaker is scheduled to be sentenced in June.
Happening in less than an hour, a hearing is scheduled for a man wrongfully convicted in a 1996 murder in Chicago. In February, Robert Johnson was released from prison after a Cook County judge vacated his conviction nearly 30 years later. The Exoneration Project says Cook County prosecutors have indicated that they would not appeal the court's decision. Today's hearing at 10 a.m. will help determine next steps for Johnson. His team is hopeful that the state will drop all charges against him. And breaking overnight, thousands of federal health employees are now on the unemployment line.
Many people across the Department of Health and Human Services were dismissed today. Now, the layoffs impact people who track disease outbreaks, conduct medical research, regulate food safety, and those who oversee the Affordable Care Act, Marketplace, Medicare, and Medicaid. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. recently said he wants to, quote, remake the department. Among those cut is the FDA's top tobacco official, Brian King. Sources say he was offered a different position in the Indian Health Service. King's been criticized by vaping lobbyists because he ordered thousands of companies to stop selling fruit and candy-flavored e-cigarettes. Dozens of other staffers in the FDA's tobacco center were also fired. Meanwhile, President Trump says he plans to announce broad reciprocal tariffs tomorrow.
But it is unclear what those will entail, with the White House saying he was still deciding as of yesterday. President Trump is promising to reshape U.S. trade policies in a way that benefits Americans. But many economists don't see it that way. They predict the tariffs will lead to high prices for U.S. consumers and a potential slowdown of the American and global economies.
Tariffs will create pain for some businesses, and I think Wisconsin will be particularly hard hit with all the manufacturing and agricultural interests.
We've already heard from some of our beef processors, popcorn exporters, that they're losing some market share in Europe.
The Senate is expected to take up a resolution aimed at blocking the tariffs on Canadian goods. Only a few Republicans say they might join Democrats in supporting it. 25% tariffs on imported vehicles are scheduled to start on Thursday.
As we keep an eye on your world, jury selection begins today for the second murder trial of Karen Reed, who's accused in the 2022 death of her police officer boyfriend. Prosecutors say Reed hit John O'Keefe with her SUV while driving drunk, and then she left him to die in the snow. But her defense team says she's being framed and accused an off-duty police officer of a cover-up. The lead investigator in the case was fired after allegations he despaired Reed and shared confidential investigative details. Reed's first trial last year ended in a mistrial. And a federal task force focused on anti-Semitism is reviewing more than $250 million in government contracts with Harvard to make sure the school is following civil rights laws. It's also analyzing nearly $9 billion in grants to Harvard. The university's president said it's strengthened its rules and approach to fighting anti-Semitism. It's among more than 100 colleges facing investigations in the wake of protests and unrest following Hamas's October 7th attack against Israel. Now, it comes after the task force cut $400 million from Columbia University. The school agreed to many of the demands from the Trump administration after threats to slash billions more in funding.
It is Election Day in Illinois with several races in Chicago's suburbs.
Next, we'll break down which key races to watch, including who could replace Dalton's, well, almost ousted mayor. And in Wisconsin, a high-stakes Supreme Court race with big donors backing up candidates. It'll determine the court's political lean, and that's raising concerns about the role of money in campaigns.
And NASCAR promising to be less disruptive when the street race returns to Chicago this summer.
There's an increased risk for severe weather. Timing it out in your First Alert forecast.
Right now, Election Day is underway in the suburbs. This morning, voters across our area will head to the polls.
They'll decide on everything from mayoral races to bond referendums. Marissa Perlman is in Aurora, where one of the big races is heating up.
Voters will be electing mayors, village presidents, village trustees. These are the roles that will be shaping their communities in the coming years. And here in Aurora, it's one of the key races that we're keeping our eyes on.
Today's Election Day. We just want to remind everybody to get out and vote.
Here, Richard Irvin is the sitting mayor and John Lash, the councilman challenger. Between them, there is no love lost. Irvin says the city is stable financially and its schools and safety overall are on the rise. But his opponent has loudly called Irvin out for what he says are major civility and ethical issues. That includes pay-to-play schemes where donors are awarded big city contracts. Irvin denies that and says contractors are allowed to donate. As mayor, Lash says he wants to lower debt in the city, invest in green energy, and improve streetlights, curbs, and water lines. We caught up with both candidates as they made final pleas to their constituents.
Our supporters, both sides, can run over the top just a little bit. I think that it also presents an opportunity after tonight to start to work to bring our community together and make sure that even the people that didn't vote for me have a voice and a seat at the table.
The biggest challenge is the lies and the divisiveness and the hate and meanness from the other team. But as I said, we rise above it. When they go low, we go high, and we make sure that we get the message out to our residents that our residents really need to hear.
We are also watching the Arlington Heights race, where three-term Mayor Tom Hayes is not running for a fourth term. Instead, you can vote for Chamber of Commerce Executive Director John Ridler, Village Trustee Tom Schwingbeck, or Village Trustee Jim Tengalia. All three will be focused on trying to get the Bears to move to the old Arlington Park site, as long as they say it benefits the city. To Orland Park now is a heated race between incumbent Keith Pecaw, who's an Air Force vet and small business owner. Pecaw has been mayor for 2 terms, running on his brand People Over Politics. His challenger is former village trustee and clerk Jim Dodge, a consultant who's running on better financial management in the city. His banner, Orland Park for All. And in the south suburbs, the race for mayor does not include current mayor Tiffany Henyard, who's been rife with scandal, including a federal investigation and allegations of embezzlement. Now your vote will go to city trustee Jason House or his challenger, independent candidate Cassandra Hobson Jordan. Early voting has already been underway. You can follow along for the election results all on our website on CBS News Chicago. Reporting in Aurora, I'm Marissa Perlman, CBS News Chicago.
Our thanks to Marissa. One important note for voters in Kane County. The state's attorney there is opening an election complaint line today. Jamie Mosser says her office hotline will be open from 6 this morning until 7 o'clock tonight. You can call about suspected illegal activity, including voter intimidation, illegal campaign signs, and denials of voting rights. The number to call is right there on your screen, 630-208-5328. And today, voters in Wisconsin will decide the winner of what has become the most expensive judicial race in American history.
Whomever fills a vacant seat on Wisconsin's Supreme Court will determine its ideological bent, potentially for years to come. Finances have been a huge part of this race. Donors, including Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, have given millions to Susan Crawford's campaign. And Elon Musk gave out $1 million checks to 2 supporters Sunday night to help the Republican-backed candidate Brad Schimmel. Both candidates talked about the role that money has played.
We've been in control over all of the contributions that our campaign has received. And on the other side, Elon Musk has pretty much taken over.
The accusation that he's spending tens of millions of dollars to buy a seat and that you're the guy that's going to help him do that, you say...
You'd have to ask him why he spent all this money.
And we'd love to.
Yeah, I didn't ask for it. I didn't know that was going to happen. I'm grateful for it. As long as that help isn't pretending I'm going to do anything that I wouldn't do.
That was CBS News correspondent Ed O'Keefe speaking to Schimmel. In the most recent Wisconsin Supreme Court election, the Democratic-backed candidate won by 11 points. NASCAR claims you won't notice as much of a disruption to downtown traffic when its street race comes back to Chicago this summer. The NASCAR Chicago street race returns to Grant Park July 5th and 6th. Organizers and the city say they've cut down the setup time by nearly 2 weeks. The course will remain the same, but audience seating and hospitality areas will change, leading to shorter setup times. Setup and breakdown will take 25 days, down from 43 days for the inaugural 2023 race. Street closures will last 18 days, one less than last year and a full week less than in 2023. The first traffic restrictions begin on June 19th. The full list is on our website right now at CBSChicago.com.
Laura Bannon back with us now. It feels like anything but June right now. You know, we're thinking about NASCAR, and I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, when can we ditch our winter coats?
Never.
Oh, Laura, that's April Fools, right?
I got you.
Good one.
Oh, man. Oh, that was so cringe. I didn't like that. I'll give you that one. I've been waiting on that one, I guess. All right, yeah, so today is a cooler day. Tomorrow, we're going to be warming things up, but we also look at unsettled skies to take shape with multiple rounds of showers and thunderstorms. Thunderstorms easily strong or severe given the position and the setup that we're looking here. Between 11 a.m. and 8 p.m. tomorrow, that's going to be a big chunk of time there that we are on alert for large hail, damaging wind, and tornadoes. But we can't write off the overnight tonight. There is a potential to see some thunderstorms that could turn a little feisty in the early part of the morning. We've got a marginal risk that's a level 1 on a scale of 1 to 5. That will change through the day tomorrow. A couple of showers possible here this evening. Temperatures holding steady in the 40s through the overnight hours. Here's the thunderstorms that we'll monitor for that large hail threat right through the morning rush. Clears out, and then we do get a bit of a break, though there's going to be some more thunderstorms that fire up in the late morning, and that's moving into an environment that we have an increased risk for severe weather, level 3 risk on a scale of 1 to 5. Those main threats for tomorrow: damaging wind, tornadoes, large hail, and the flooding risk has been increased too, just given how heavy the rain is going to be and just how many rounds of rain that we'll see picking up late tonight into tomorrow. Here we are by the midday hours on Wednesday. We've got a couple of strong thunderstorms, so the focus will really start to intensify and ramp up by the late day, evening hours. The morning round of storms will have a big impact on this, so I do expect some changes in the forecast, but the big take-home message is as we get those thunderstorms in the area starting overnight tonight, we'll want to be weather aware. 68 degrees for the high tomorrow. We turn cooler through the rest of the week. We've got some cool lake waters out there and a lake breeze for a couple of days here, keeping that lakefront on the cooler swing. 51 degrees on Friday. We stay in the 40s and 50s throughout the weekend. A few showers possible on Saturday. So by this time tomorrow, Chris, we do have at least some really nasty travel times due to the weather, but right now kind of enjoying the quiet.
And with the weather coming in, you could possibly expect some of the, if not all of the overnight road work to be canceled or postponed of indefinite duration there, at least through the next day, because you don't want to have your road workers exposed to the high winds and potentially hail and things out there. So this is what it looks like right now. Core expressways are busy. We do have a round of crashes here. The westbound side of 8094 at Burr got 3 vehicles. They're off on the shoulder. They've been out there for a while. It's backing up all the way to Broadway. So we get in tighter here. We got crash cleanup on the outbound Stevenson at LaGrange, and brand new crash. Injuries reported there on the inbound side of the Ryan. That's pretty ugly, so let's take a look. The inbound side at 87th, there's lane blockage there. No specifics on that. It just happened. So IDOT, State Police, Chicago Fire Department, everybody's en route to that. If you get on downstream from that, you'll kind of miss that mess. And the outbound side of the Stevenson's tied up around LaGrange Road. That's off on the right shoulder now. And, of course, we've got some ramp closures going on in Joliet. We'll talk about that next report. Chris Habermill, CBS News Chicago.
Chris, thanks so much.
Well, stuck in space. It was an experience literally out of this world. This morning, we're hearing from the 2 NASA astronauts who unexpectedly spent 9 months outside the Earth's atmosphere.
And I'm Darius Johnson. We are jump-starting your morning at Shaw's Crab House in River North, where next week they are celebrating the 40th anniversary. Take a look. This is Big Dog Mercer Band. They will be here playing live music every Thursday after April 10th from 5 until 10. You can come in next week on April 10th to see them in person live as you eat your oysters and anything else that's on the menu.
Tournament for Chicago's top dog is really heating up.
It really is. We are announcing our 3rd round bracket in the search for the restaurant who serves the best hot dog in town. And you, the voters, have narrowed it down to 4, so check out your screen there. Superdog beat out Home Depot's hot dog stand, and the Wiener's Circle shut out Donnie V's. So now Superdog and the Wiener's Circle will face off.
And Portillo's cooked Jimmy's Red Hots, and Byron's hot dogs beat out Happy Dogs. So now Portillo's and Byron's will matchup you can get your voting on right now for the Final Four, the Mustard Four as we call it. Just head to cbschicago.com and search Top Dog.
And this morning we are hearing from the NASA astronauts who spent an unexpected 9 months in space.
Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore are now sharing what they missed and how they're adjusting to gravity once again. Christian Benavides shares what they wish they knew before they went on that mission.
And splashdown, Crew 9 back on Earth.
For Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore, there's no place like home.
I wanted to hug my husband and hug my dogs. I had a good grilled cheese sandwich when I got home.
On Monday in Houston, the NASA astronauts held their first press conference since returning from the International Space Station following a 9-month stay in space.
Some happy waves, smiles all around.
For Wilmore, extended time in orbit meant he missed most of his daughter's senior year of high school.
This is the way we've trained our daughters from the time they were born, because their dad isn't a unique occupation, right? This is not the norm leaving the planet, and they understand that.
Both astronauts say they're adjusting to life on Earth. Williams says she's already running again.
I actually went out and ran 3 miles yesterday, so I will give myself a little pat on the back. Our trainers are rocking it.
Launched into orbit in June of 2024, their mission was originally scheduled to last just 8 days, but was repeatedly extended, the result of a series of mechanical and logistical challenges.
Merry Christmas!
In all, the astronauts spent 286 days in space. Wilmore says he shares responsibility for the unexpected extension of the mission with both NASA and Boeing, noting he should have asked more questions going into the mission.
There were questions that I, as the commander of the spacecraft, that I should have asked, and I did not. At the time, I didn't know I needed to, and maybe you could call that hindsight, but I'll start and point the finger and I'll blame me. I could have asked some questions, and the answers to those questions could have turned the tide.
Williams and Wilmore say 9 months in space was all in a day's work. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
Wilmore and Williams celebrated holidays in space, like you saw with their Christmas hats, and even voted in the presidential election. They have repeatedly noted that as challenging as the extended mission was for them, they believe it was more difficult for their families. Well, next at 9, reducing the number of rats in Chicago.
All of us would like to see that, right? Yes. Well, it's a pilot program launching today, and we'll speak with someone leading the effort to find out how it will work. Plus, we are live with the creator of the CBS show Fire Country, as season 3 is close to wrapping up.
This is CBS News Chicago.
Good Tuesday morning to you. I'm Jackie Kostek in for Andrina.
And I'm Dana Kozlov. It's 9:30. Thanks so much for staying with us. Well, the Chicago Teachers Union speaking right now after reaching a tentative contract deal with the school district. We are listening in as leaders outline the terms.
More on that in just a minute, but let's start with your first alert forecast. Things are calm and cool right now, but we've got some rain and storms on the way. Bringing in meteorologist Laura Bannon in our first alert weather center to talk us through it. Laura, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, a little bit of a chill in the air today with temperatures in the 40s and 50s farther inland. We've got some chilly lake waters and a lake breeze here today that'll keep that lakefront in the 30s and 40s. 43 in the Loop, 39 up toward Waukegan. Overnight tonight, a marginal risk for some strong thunderstorms. Biggest threat with these storms in the overnight hours, likely going to be a hail threat. And then tomorrow, damaging wind, hail, and tornadoes. A level 3 risk on a scale of 1 to 5. Few showers here this evening, and then those thunderstorms come knocking on the door by 5 in the morning. So an early wake-up call. Then we'll see numerous thunderstorms throughout the day into the evening. More on the storm threat and what this means for the rest of the week coming up here shortly.
All right, Laura, thanks so much. And right now we're going to take a live look at a press conference on the Near West Side organized by the Chicago Teachers Union. Union leaders are outlining their tentative contract agreement with Chicago Public Schools. This comes after nearly a year of tense negotiations. So far, we know the contract includes up to a 19% raise over 4 years, new class size limits, and it guarantees 90 new librarians will be hired over the next 3 years. Teachers could vote on that deal by the end of this week.
And breaking right now, 23 states and the District of of Columbia are suing the Trump administration over its decision to cut $11 billion in health funding. Illinois and Wisconsin are among the states suing. The lawsuit argues the Department of Health and Human Services does not have the authority to take back funding the states had already built health care programs around. Now, money was being used to track outbreaks, mental health services, and addiction treatment.
Well, Chicago is known to have its fair share of rats. Some call us the rattiest city in America, which is, of course, debatable. But there is maybe not. I don't know. But there is a new program kicking off today aimed at keeping rats from reproducing.
The pilot program is being run by the Wicker Park Bucktown Special Service Area number 33, the business district of those neighborhoods. And joining us now to talk more about it is Alice Howe, the program manager overseeing that initiative. Good morning, Alice.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, thanks for being here. Now, I know this is all about rat birth control instead of rat poison. So can you explain how it will work?
Yeah, so it is a product released by company SenseTech. The product is called Evolve, and it's essentially put out into the alleyways, very similar to the rat, or just on the screen right there, those boxes. Very similar to the poison that are currently out in the alleys, but it is a kind of like sausage product that is mainly cottonseed oil that is the active ingredient that inhibits the fertility in rats.
What is the goal of this program? I mean, are you guys talking specific numbers here? Has it worked for other cities as well?
Yeah, so they have seen success. They're currently in Baltimore. They're actually launching with San Francisco and New York in the upcoming weeks as well with this newest product. And our main goal is to help eliminate toxins and poisons from our environment, keeping our pets, our environment, all of us safe, our waterways, but also to help rebuild our landscaping. The tree pits, especially along North Avenue and in Bucktown and Wicker Park, we are constantly having to replace the planter beds, the trees, because their root systems are constantly being dug up from the burrows there.
Yeah, and you know, rats are prolific reproducers, seriously. They can reproduce like crazy. But some pet owners might be like, well, what about my pets? What if they get into these pellets, these sausages? Could it be harmful?
So it is essentially built for their metabolism and the specific weight of rats. So there are no claims that it is entirely safe if an animal were to, be eating this every single day in very large quantities. But the amount that we're putting out is specifically meant to be inactive for just rats. So we're not putting out huge amounts where if a dog were to get to it every single day, again, we're also putting it in secured locations. So it's going to be controlled, it's going to be small percentage, and it is meant specifically for the body weight and metabolism of a rat.
This is the kind of program that gets a lot of people talking. How did you guys find out about it, and how did it land, I guess, now in Bucktown and Wicker Park?
Yeah, I read about an article 3 years ago where San Francisco was launching their previous product, ContraPest, which was more of a liquid product, and it was more expensive. So we've been talking with them for the past 3 years. Our board is finally interested in, because it is a little more cost effective, and with the following all of the landscaping that we've had to replace over the last few years, we thought this was the time to see if it's successful. So we're excited with the new product and that it is affordable and more accessible now.
With that, real quickly, I mean, obviously we're talking about birth control, so how long will it take before you guys have any idea if it's worked at all?
Yeah, so they typically say you'll see effects within 1 to 2 breeding cycles, which is about 4 to 6 weeks.
Oh,
okay. So we actually have the VP of their sales with us here this week, helping us deploy properly. He's going to help us figure out how we can really be monitoring it and coming back to make sure that the program is effective. So we're saying in 3 months, we're really going to come back and reestablish what those success rates were, but we are going to continue beyond that, I think, as well. So the pilot currently, as it is 3 months, but we're going to see how it goes from there.
Well, and we'd like to check back with you in 3 months as well to get an idea of whether it was effective or not. But in the meantime, Alice Howe with the Wicker Park Bucktown Chamber of Commerce, thanks so much. It's really interesting.
Thank you so much.
And next, the CBS drama series Fire Country is close to wrapping season 3. We are live with the show's star and creator.
And for today's Jumpstart, we're at Shaw's Crab House in River North as the seafood restaurant looks to celebrate 40 years with special menus, live events, and a lot more.
Sunny and cool ahead of a storm threat. We'll track the storms hour by hour coming up.
We're jumpstarting your morning with a party at Shaw's Crab House.
The restaurant is celebrating its 40th anniversary in River North this month with throwback menu specials and a whole lot of other offerings to help commemorate 4 decades, almost 5, I guess, in business, right? And that's where our Darius Johnson is right now. He's been there all morning hanging out at Shaw's. Hey, Darius.
It's a party here, Dana, just like you said. You can hear that have Big Dog Mercer band playing right behind us. This is what you can experience if you come to Shaw's Crab House for their 40th anniversary next week. Joining me again this morning is Bill Nevruz. He is the executive partner. Bill, talk to me a little bit. What has made you all successful over the last 40 years?
I think consistency and quality are the two things that are timeless in this business, and it's what we really focus on over the years.
Talk to me about some of the other things that continues to make Shaw's Crab House popular to so many Chicagoans and even people who visit Chicago for the very first time, or even who choose to return to this city and come back to eat here, whether it's crab, whether it's shrimp, whether it's all the beautiful seafood items and fresh seafood items that you all have on your menu.
Yeah, I think all of that, but I think maybe the secret sauce that binds it all together is our great people. Our great people that recognize all those travelers from across the country that come in even once a year, and our bartenders know their name, our servers remember what they like to eat. It's our staff that really makes it happen.
Bill, talk to me about these guys who are playing right here behind us. They have been going all morning, at least for the last hours. They sound amazing. We know starting on April 10th, next Thursday, they will be here on those Thursdays from 5 to 8 playing live. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, I mean, Big Dog Mercer does such a great job. It's a perfect vibe for this restaurant. And they are playing here, like you said, on April 10th. And they'll be part of the regular circuit of playing here moving forward every Thursday night.
Talk to me. Why Thursdays?
So Thursday to me is like to kick it off the weekend, right? And there's so much happening over the weekend in Chicago that I think Thursday night feels like a perfect spot for us to bring music back to this amazing oyster bar.
All right, let's get into the hot details that everyone wants to know about the 40th anniversary that kicks off next Monday. Monday through Friday, you all are going to have special offerings throughout the week. Run us through some of those things that you know people will love to enjoy.
You got it. Starting Monday, we're going to go back to 12 oysters on our menu, 6 from the east, 6 from the west coast. We're doing a throwback menu with great items like jambalaya, frog legs, and clams casino. And we're doing a fantastic oyster and champagne event on Tuesday at 4:30 in our lounge in the main dining room. And then live music on Thursday, live music all day on Friday, special oyster tableside martinis, and roaming shuckers here in the oyster bar.
All right, we have about 45 seconds left. The one other thing that I would love to point out, you all have a lot of different areas here in the restaurant right now. We're basically in the oyster bar, and this is more of a casual area, but you also have more of the fine dining area. You have the bar as well. Talk to me about the reservations, getting into any of those spots, or if people can walk in.
So both. We can make reservations anywhere in the restaurant except for around this oyster bar. The seats at the oyster bar, the 27 seats, are reserved just for the people that are walking in and waiting their turn.
Okay, so they can walk in, they can have those oysters shucked, and they can enjoy from the east and from the west.
You got it.
All right, Bill, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Again, 40th anniversary here at Shaw's Crab House. You can enjoy live music starting next Thursday, every Thursday at 5 p.m. Dana, going to go ahead and send things back to you and Jackie because it is clearly a party here at Shaw's.
I know.
And Laura, too, yes.
And live it up there, Darius. Thank you so much. And congrats to Shaw's. 40 years in business for a restaurant in Chicago is really quite an accomplishment, seriously.
It means
40
you're
years.
doing something really
right.
well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Somewhere,
and
right.
You've got regulars. I love that sign that they showed earlier that has the, it's like a plaque of
the
all
wall
the
of
regular
regulars. And he's like, it's a mystery how you get on it.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, well, I want to be on it.
Exactly. Yeah. Let me know. Yeah, we get off in an hour or so. We can head over there. Come on.
Exactly. All right. Well, you were looking outside. We got the sun.
Yes.
Nice to see that. Temperature-wise, we could use a little boost. It's going to be a struggle to warm up today. Won't be a problem tomorrow as we get some warm air and eventually some thunderstorms. We are on alert for a couple of rounds of thunderstorms starting tonight and going through the day tomorrow. The big window that we're on alert for severe weather is going to be between 11 a.m. tomorrow till about 8 o'clock in the evening. All modes of severe weather here. Large hail, damaging wind especially, and tornadoes. Now, we do have a low-end risk for some strong thunderstorms overnight tonight. Marginal risk, level 1, scale of 1 to 5, the lowest level possible. Then we start moving up the ladder. Middle, level 3 on a scale of 1 to 5, an enhanced risk for severe weather. Numerous severe thunderstorms are going to be possible tomorrow with damaging wind as the main threats with this line of thunderstorms. Can't rule out a couple of tornadoes, large hail. Flooding will also be an issue too, especially in some of those poor drainage areas, some of those problem areas that possibly around your neighborhood, just given how heavy and the amount of rain that we're going to be looking at over the next 36 hours. A couple of showers possible by the evening hours. Wouldn't be surprised if we got a brief report of a snowflake or two. By tomorrow, that's not the case. We have temps in the 40s rising rapidly with a line of thunderstorms in the early part of the morning. If we were going to trigger any type of severe thunderstorm warning for tomorrow morning, likely going to be for the threat of large hail. That clears out, and then we see a little bit of a lull in the activity with a couple more showers and thunderstorms through the midday hours. Main show during the afternoon into the evening, and that's where we have that large hail, damaging wind, and tornado risk for Wednesday. 45 degrees for the high today. We're coolest along the lakefront. East wind 10 to 15, upper 30s, right around 40 degrees lakeside. Tonight, rising temperatures, a low of 41 degrees. We go all the way to 68 tomorrow with those waves of thunderstorms. 7-day forecast. Once we get past Wednesday, calmer and cooler with some sunshine. We'll see temperatures in the 50s for the Cubs home opener. Let's go to the First Alert Traffic Center. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Laura. We haven't had any really big lane blockage incidents, but we have to clean up things. So IDOT is out there and doing their spring cleaning on the inbound side of the Kennedy. Off to the roads we go, and it's kind of fortunate here, good timing, that the monthly siren test is coming up. The outdoor alerting sirens are going to go off starting at 10 a.m. here, so in less than 10 minutes or less than 15 minutes. A little over 10 minutes, and it happens on the first Tuesday of each month unless severe weather is imminent, in other words, occurring or about to occur. So that's not scheduled forecast, if you will, until tomorrow, so it's good to go ahead and get the sirens tested up. This is what it looks like right now. No-brainer here. Out of all the core expressways, the Kennedy is the worst, and it's complicated a little bit by the spring cleaning going on. So this is where they're at, right around the Nagel Curve right now. They've been in and out on the shoulders and sometimes bumping out into the left lane. So the inbound Kennedy comes to a grinding halt just past Cumberland. Have a great day. Drive safe. Let's be nice to each other. Chris Habermill, CBS News Chicago.
Thanks so much, Chris. And straight ahead, we're getting a sneak peek at this week's episode of Fire Country as the show's creator will join us live.
Let's get you caught up now on the stories we are keeping an eye on today.
The Chicago Teachers Union is holding a press conference right now after reaching a tentative deal with the school district. This comes after nearly a year of tense negotiations. So far, we know the contract includes up to a 19% raise over 4 years, new class size limits, and it guarantees 90 new librarians will be hired over the next 3 years. Teachers could vote on that deal by the end of this week.
Today, voters in the suburbs head to the polls, deciding on everything from mayoral races to bond referendums. Among the big races, incumbent Richard Irvin against Councilman John Lash for mayor of Aurora, and in Arlington Heights. 3 candidates are trying to replace the outgoing mayor there. Get all your election results tonight on our news at 10.
Thousands of federal health employees are now on the unemployment line. The layoffs include people who track disease outbreaks, do medical research, regulate food safety, and those who oversee Medicare, Medicaid, and the Affordable Care Act marketplace.
All right, let's do another look at your 7-day forecast. Cool day today, mixed clouds, sunshine. We'll see some more clouds in the late day, 45 degrees. We go to a high tomorrow at 68 degrees. A couple of rounds of thunderstorms, one in the morning, again in the late day. It's that late day one that we're going to be watching for a large hail, damaging wind threat, and potentially some tornadoes here across Chicago. We turn cooler, sunny through Thursday into Friday, low 50s for the Cubs home opener. That lake breeze, too, will make things a little on the chilly side throughout the game. A couple of showers possible on Saturday. We're dry in the 40s, mid-40s through Sunday and again on Monday.
All right, Laura, thanks. After a brief break from March Madness, Season 3 of the CBS drama series Fire Country continues this Friday night.
And there's just a few more episodes to go. The final 2 episodes of the season will air Friday, April 25th, and then Fire Country will be back for its 4th season in the fall, which is exciting. And joining us now with a look ahead at the next few weeks is the show's director, Max Terriot. So, Max, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, Fire Country is back this Friday night for a brand new episode. It's called Dirty Money. And I understand, Max, that this episode will actually introduce essentially a whole new spin-off show. So what can you tell us about the episode?
It does. So we're going to dive a little deeper into a character that we brought on once before, as Sheriff Mickey Fox, and she's got some familial ties to the Leones, into our show here in Fire Country. We get to meet her dad, who's an interesting character, to say the least, with an interesting backstory, and someone's just tried to kill him. So we're gonna launch off there and get to unpack that for the rest of the episode. But Sheriff Country, obviously, is going to be a different side of Edgewater than we're used to seeing, that fans have grown to love, and I think they're going to love this side just as much, because it's we call it Deadwater. It's it's the underbelly of this community in this town, and we're going to be following Mickey Fox and some other characters that we'll obviously get to meet as well when we get into Sheriff Country. But different look, different feel, same town, same people, same community, and different look at law enforcement. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
So, Max, I know that you wear many hats on the show, including actor, producer, director. How, if I may ask, has the devastating LA wildfires earlier this year impacted your handling of the subject matter? Or might it, moving forward? I would imagine it's definitely had an impact on a lot of people on the show.
Certainly, yeah. I think, I grew up in Northern California, which was where, the inspiration for the show kind of came from. And, I'd just gone through some really devastating wildfires. And a lot of people I knew and grew up with lost their homes and businesses. And so it was something that, was obviously really, really close to me and my own experiences. And, now a lot of the actors who are on our show who live in Los Angeles, and, our writers were leaving their houses. And I think just everybody getting to see it on such a massive, scary scale in LA, and for all these people who were involved in the show, and now this is happening, I think definitely gave them a different perspective. And I hope that we can take away some positive out of all of it. And
yeah.
I hope we can continue to tell grounded character stories and bring humanity to a lot of these inmate firefighters, and just continue to tell these stories that I think people need, and tell them in the right way.
Does it solidify why you wanted to tell these stories in the first place?
I think for sure. I think I think it's been something that has affected my life. A lot of people that I've known, and I think it only shows even more now that we need to be prepared for these things. We need to have the resources. We need to pay firefighters what they should be getting paid, and we need to understand the cost of this job emotionally, and the toll that it takes on all these people, because like all first responders, they might all look like they have a superhero cape on, when they're wearing their uniform, but they're real people.
They're humans, right.
We need to understand the human side.
Right. All right, Max Terriot, thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck with Fire Country moving forward. And a reminder to everybody, again, Fire Country airs every Friday night at 8 on CBS and streaming on Paramount+. We want to disclose, by the way, that Paramount is the parent company of both CBS and our station, CBS News Chicago.
And if you're a fan of Jelly Roll, he's going to be on an episode
right.
in the next couple weeks.
I think on April 11th.
I think you're right.
Right. All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining us here on the News at 9. Your local news continues on the stream.
Have a great day and stay safe.